Number one, if I coach a team, I'm not playing a double pivot. No. I'm playing a single pivot. My number 6 needs to understand that he is a joint between the defensive players, 5 defensive players, and also the 5 attacking players. He needs to understand that he is a link between the 5 up front and the 5 in the back. And as a link, he actually is the flexibility part of my team. That's the role of my number 6. Not 2, but 1. And I will need to build a support system around him with my fullbacks tucking in and playing those semi-number 8 roles to actually free the load off of him. And my number 8, I need them to be pushed up front to actually add the numbers on attack. But I'm not trying to confuse my number 6 by doubling up that role. One player needs to play that role. And I need to find a player that is suitable to actually think ahead of everybody. As a link, I need him to be able to send wrong information to the opposition. I need him to send wrong signals to the opposition so that they take that signal and run with it, and then he do what he's supposed to do. Someone who think ahead of everybody, not only him. I need my number 8, both of them, to understand his signals, to understand when he sends a wrong signal and when he's sending a correct signal, and then anticipate the play as far as the signals are concerned, which brings us to the idea of the synergy within the team. You want to create that synergy in your team. If your fullbacks are tucking in and playing as number 8 to support your link play, your number 8, your both number 8, as much as they are pushed up front, they need to understand how to create those diamonds to make sure that the players that are supporting my number 6 have options to play. It's either they play a number 6 or they play one of the number 8. And this 8 needs to know when to find a 10 or a striker or back to a fullback. I need that synergy. I need that synergy. The double pivot, it wouldn't be my style. Never. Never. But I would need one player who understands his role correctly, who understands that he is a link between the 5 players in the back, which is goalkeeper, 2 center backs, and the full backs, that's 5, and also the front attacking players, which is my 2 number 8, the striker, and my wingers. If he cannot understand that role, then he is not fit for the job. I need to find a player that is good for that role. The moment I see a 4-2-3-1, I know it's a double pivot. I know that, okay, it's a transitional football. They are here to defend and try to play transitional football. It's good at times, but not for me. Not for me, bro. Not for me. Me, I want to attack. I want to knock at that door. I don't want to keep the ball on my own half and circulate the ball as if I'm dominant to the opposition, where I'm circulating the ball basically on the areas where I cannot hit my opposition. The team has to play with a purpose to win the game, with a purpose to score goals, with a purpose to crack even the toughest low block, the most congested, complicated low block. A team needs to actually be able to crack that. But that begins with your number 6, understanding his role, understanding that he is linked, understanding that as a joint, the flexibility of the team relies solely on him. He might not be the fastest player in the field of play, but he needs to be the fastest thinker in that field of play. And sometimes if you watch football, especially in South Africa, that's where we actually lack the most. The players that actually are close to what I'm looking for as a number 6, probably Stebo Homkwena in Mamelodi Sundowns and Talendem Bata in Orlando Pirates. I think those 2 players have the ability to play that number 6 role as much as I envision it. Otherwise, I would convert a player like Usipho Mbule and put it at the number 6 role, because he has that ability to think ahead of everybody, and he has that ability to actually send wrong signals to the opposition and actually play a totally different ball game. Even if I can put a rally on that number 6, if he understands that role very well, I don't need him for defensive duty. I need him for the progression of play. Now, it's just that in most cases, when you think of the number 6, we think about a scanner in front of the defense, someone who will shield and protect the defense. But me, bro, I'm thinking about a linkage player who links the flexibility at the neck of the team, the joint of the team, the much flexible part of the team that actually makes the team plays. A player who is dynamic, who can actually, as I've said, who can send the wrong signal to the opposition and actually play a total different game than what he sent to the opposition to actually crack them open. And even the runs in and around that same player, it needs to be of a dynamic players who can actually make those confusing runs, and they need to be confusing enough that the opposition cracks. It will actually make him, these runs should make it easy for him to think and produce those progressive passes that will hurt the opponents. That's what I look at when I think about that number 6 role. I see most coaches love a 4-2-3-1, but for me, I will play a 4-1-2-3-1. A 4-2-1-3, I mean. That's how I would play. But I'm hoping that I'll get a gig in future as a coach. But I always look at how the team plays and I'm like, if they can use that player as a single pivot, actually most of the problems that this team have can be resolved just like that. But then they are the coaches, they're trying to protect their jobs, because the more they don't lose, the more games they don't lose is the better for them to keep their jobs. But I understand that it takes time to actually create a single pivot that will actually play like a Rodrigo or like a Sergio Busquets. It will take a while to actually develop a player that will be playing at that caliber. But once you get that player, everything is solved for the entire team. Maybe coaches need to be gutsy and look for that one special player who will actually be that flexible point, that flexible joint of the team that makes the team function. The flexibility of the team should rely solely on that individual. And then the players surrounding him, both the number 8 and also your fullback tucking in, I think those need to be a very, very dynamic players. And also your wingers up front, they need to be dynamic to be able to also actually take the players on a one-on-one. Even if they are doubled up, they need to be the type of players that are able to actually find spaces where there are no spaces. And then the support from the number 8 and also finding the striker, your most important player, number 9, it should be also the player who the rest of the team can play off. The player who can actually come in and join the build-up, the play, and also be smart enough to make those runs off the ball that actually create spaces for your number 8 to join in and actually score those goals. Even if your number 9 doesn't score goals at times, because it will require him to actually make those peeling runs so that he opens the space for his teammates actually coming into those spaces and score goals. I don't know what's wrong with these coaches, but for me, I will need a single pivot.